Good morning and welcome. I was taking a drink of water there. Good morning and welcome to this edition of Sell Your Own Products on Amazon for Income and Lifestyle. That's the sponsor of our show, and that's the course we have, which is, if you've followed me anything, and we're completely redoing the course. I just did a thing. We're up now to 67 videos, something like that, and it's not a course. It's still the same course. So we started out teaching private label, and I still teach private label, and I still think private label is one of the best ways to go. But since then, we've added retail arbitrage. People are asking about retail arbitrage. Retail arbitrage is important in the progression of selling online. It was one of the things that a lot of the old timers, that's the way we started out. We went to the thrift stores, went to, in my case, I went to some grocery stores. I sold a lot of food at that time, went to the grocery stores. And, once or twice a month, the grocery stores would put on some big sales. I'd mark those. I'd go over and buy the stuff, ship it to Amazon FBA, and did good. That's called retail arbitrage. And we teach that in the course. We also take, excuse me just a minute, I'm getting hoarse this morning. We also definitely take private label selling. That's what the original course, and that's what we designed it for. Excuse me. We teach the private label selling, and that's what this article this morning is about. We're going to talk about 5 mistakes that almost everyone makes when they're ordering their private label stuff. Why? Because they're always in a hurry, and the excitement is good, and that's the way it should be. I don't want to take that away from anybody or anything else, but in the same thing, you need to follow through and do certain things if you want to get the best price for your product on Amazon, eBay, or wherever you're selling. We recommend that you get your product out there, Walmart, any place you can, and sign up, get your place on, because you can always ship them. If you're selling FBA, you can always use FBA as your shipper and sell on the other stores and that. But that's something else. We're not going to get into that this afternoon. Or this morning. We will talk about that later. And I need to mention this because I get excited. As you can see, I always throw my hands up and do this, and if somebody tied my hands, I probably couldn't talk. What can I say? That's just me, because I get excited when we talk about this stuff, because I want to see you be profitable. I want to see you make money. I want to see you just prosper and be in good health. That's what it's all about. What can I say? So we're going to talk about today is this is mainly for private sellers, not so much drop shippers, because whoever you're buying from probably does all the buying over there. And then we're going to talk about Import Dojo, who I think is one of the best companies out there. If you have the money and you do not want to be bothered with sourcing the product over in China, if you don't want to be, caught up in all the red tape and that, because there's a lot, and there's a lot to do. I've done I don't know how many shows on importing your product from China and sending it to Amazon FBA, and that includes if you live in Timbuktu or wherever you live. You live in the United States, or you live in Australia, any place else. There's certain things you've got to do. You've got to have an EIN, and we're not I guess we won't get into that, or we'll be here all day, because that's a heavy subject. But what we're going to just talk about today is these mistakes that are being made. And so without any further ado, if we had a drum roll here, we'd have it. And what's the first one? Well, the first mistake that I see so many private labelers and others who's importing goods make is not getting a shipping quote. As humans, we tend to take the path of least resistance. And this is what this is about, because you're up there and you've hassled with the company interpreter on the company you're buying from, and gone back and forth to her, and she's gone back to the manager and all that to arrive at a price and everything else. So the next thing is, well, how do I send it over? Well, I'm going to tell you something, that over in China, they've got an affiliate system just like we've got here in the United States. And just to put it simply, that if you're going to ask your supplier for a quote, first of all, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with asking your supplier for a quote, because they're going to go to the friends, or they're going to go to whoever gives them the biggest kickback, and they're going to put your stuff in there and you'll get a quote from them. And there's nothing wrong with that. Do it all the time. And but the thing is not getting another quote. Getting a quote, you can call. There's quite a few shipping companies or companies that will take you through the customs and all that. You need one of them. You can do it yourself. I've done it. I didn't do it by myself because I had to hire somebody for every certain aspect of the operation, and it's a lot to take care of. And that's why I recommend Import Dojo. Let them take care of it, and they go on. But there's Western Overseas, there's Shapiro, there's all kinds of others you can call and get a good quote from them. And there's nothing wrong with that. I use that all the time to make sure this. And if you get a quote from some of these other outfits that say it's within $50 or even $100 or something like that, use your thing, but make it easy on yourself, because I'm going to tell you something. When you ship an item from China, within 2 days out, they're going to want payment on that. And then they give you a clear bill of sale, which you have to get through customs. It's just that simple. You can't get through customs unless your product is paid for. So without getting these pamphlets is not getting a shipping quote, and get 2 or 3 of them if you can. Different ones. There's Shapiro out there. There's Western Overseas. There's different ones I use down here in Miami. But call them and get a shipping quote. Doesn't cost you anything. Get a shipping quote. You're going to have to buy a bond and all that. And we're not so that's mistake number one, because a lot of times you're going to pay way too much. And you don't want to do that. You want to keep your costs down. You don't want to be, not trying to stay stingy. You want to save money is what I'm trying to say, because it's all important to your bottom line. And used to be when we brought things across and everything like that, and all that, why we'd make a good profit. But anymore, as well as I do, especially if you're doing private label, the margins are going down and down and down. And especially if you sell on eBay, man, oh man, the margins are I'm just saying the pits, and that's all I'm going to say. You can still make good money on eBay, but you got to watch yourself. And one of the main things is watch your costs. You don't want to pay twice your cost of your shipping. If you're only paying $2 an item on the cost of shipping, you don't want to suddenly be paying $4. That's $2 out of your pocket, my pocket, yours. So that's mistake. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that I see people making, is not getting a quote, just taking somebody's word for it and go. And you can also, if you've been doing this a long time, there's nothing wrong with, you've got your favorite one, and you ship it to them, and they're going to take it for you, and they're going to bring it across. You work with them, they work with. There's nothing wrong with that, but still, just all the time, if you don't have one, do it every time, but get another shipping quote to make sure they're still giving you the because a lot of times the shipping agent changes, the company's still the same, they're using their credentials, and that shipping agent changes, they want to make more money, so they'll jack the price up on you, and that's not what you want. So number one, get a shipping quote. Get more than one. Get 2 at least, or not 3. Okay. The number 2 thing I see people making is rushing your supplier. Let me tell you, the Chinese have got a good mindset. They don't get rattled. They don't take being rushed very often. And for instance, what I'm going to take, we've got, this is right here. This is the end of August. We've got September, October. We've got one of the big Chinese holidays coming up. Now, I want to warn you right now, if you're check and find out when and I should have wrote it down here. I didn't, and look it up. And when the Chinese holidays, because they take their holidays serious. Their factories close down. They'll close down for a week or so. Why? Because everybody's from the country and they're now living in the towns. So those people that are in the factories working in the towns and all that, they want to go to their ancestors. They want to go to the old family farm. They want to go out in the country. So they do that, and they take a week to do it. And they party, and they have a good time, and they have a good celebration. And sometimes, human nature, they don't make it back when they're supposed to. And so that factory that's closed down for a week, the better part, it is a better chance that it's going to be closed down for a week and a half, 2 weeks. That's just the way things go over there. And I don't think that's bad. I think it's good. I think they enjoy themselves, have a good time. So that's what I'm talking about, rushing your supplier. And I'm going to tell you, if you start giving a rush time, well, can I get it faster this, or if I get it faster that? And what do I have to do and all that? You're going to lose a lot of, they call it face over there, because you're asking them to do something they're not willing to do. And if they are willing to do it, they're going to resent it. And I think you're going to get the short end of the stick is what it said. So there's number 2, rushing your supplier. Don't rush it. And I'm sorry that I didn't. I will have to do a hang up on that Chinese holiday coming up, because it's cost me sometimes 3 to 4 weeks in the shipping process, that Chinese holiday. So what can I say? All right. The third thing, 3, 1, 2, 3. The third thing is, I see a lot of things, is just to automatically assume that it's cheaper to send it by sea. And I know myself, when I recommend something, I tend to, and I don't stop myself, I automatically say, well, by sea is always cheaper. Well, it's not always cheaper, especially if you've got a small item you're shipping and all that. Why there could be a big difference. So check it out. Always get a shipping quote, air and sea, just to see what they have. If you can save $500-$600 by sending it by sea, for God's sake, send it by sea. It's no big thing. It just takes a couple of weeks. If you're in this business to stay, if maybe your first order, you're excited, you want to get going, and you want to, so then I can see maybe popping for the air freight. But after you've been and you get to be an old fart like me, why, you're not in that big a hurry, and $500 is $500, or $400 or $300 or whatever it is. Use your own judgment. I'm not telling you what to do, but don't just assume that sea is going to be the cheapest. Most of the time it is, but certain times there's not, especially if it's a small item. Okay. Excuse me. Darn, I got a thing this morning. I apologize for that. Let's see, what are we? 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're on 4. We use the thumb or this figure, whatever it is. The fourth thing is I see is you're buying a product that you're going to private label on Amazon, eBay, or wherever, Walmart. You're doing that, and you're not getting a sample. You're not getting a sample. And especially if it's something that they make all the time, and that, have them send you a sample. One more time, have them send you a sample. Will it cost money? Yes. They're not going to give you the sample free, because they've got to pay the shipping and all that and that. But get a sample. You'd be surprised. And if you're getting a product that's a fairly good product, and it's made by a bunch of different suppliers, and you get samples from each and every one of them, especially if there's one supplier that is way lower than everybody else. Before you sign that contract, before you agree to him, have him send you a copy, a sample, because the simple truth is the quality of the goods coming from China varies by this much. You can have a company over here that, well, just like any place, but you could have a company over here that makes products and they stand by it and they've got inspectors in their line and they check it and they check and you're not going to have anything else. And you've got another company over here that just hurries up, especially if you try to rush your supplier. They'll hurry up. They're going to make all of the mistakes, and those mistakes are going to get packed and get sent to you, and you're going to be the poorer for it. What can I tell you? So have them send you a sample. If you're doing it at Import Dojo, they'll automatically send you a sample from wherever they decide to go. That's just good practice. It's good good sourcing, good business, whatever I can tell you. You know, I don't care what kind of a company they've got, or what kind you're working with, or whatever. Get a sample. Okay, that's for it. Get a sample. All right, what's the next one? Well, if you're doing private label, chances are you're going to want to have on that product, you're going to have your sticker put on, or your label. You want to see what the actual box that's going to be shipped in, what your shipping label, what your product label looks like. If it looks good, if it looks spiffy, does it look neat, or does it just thrown on there or something else? So what I'm trying to tell you, this fifth thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is to get a sample of your product shipped to you. Now, if you're asking for that shipping sample early in the process before you even say what you want to do or something like that, expect to pay a goodly amount of money for that. $60, $70, $50, you can get it. Because why? Because that manufacturer is going to have to set his machinery up, his tooling and all that for one product. If this is before you sign it, he's going to want, and that costs a lot of money. Cost him probably maybe a day's work for one worker to set it all up and shoot it out and put the labels on, and they've got to do all this before they have to before they sign a contract with them, say you're going to buy so many or something. So they're taking a risk, and it's going to cost them. Like I say, it's going to cost you $60, $70 or so, especially by the time they ship it over and all that. So don't be surprised, but get one. And I can't say it loud enough. Get one. Get a sample of your product. Make sure you know and they know exactly what you want. Don't presume anything. And especially if you're talking to one of their factory representative who is not the boss, not anything else, their chances are they are nothing more than a company interpreter who can't make a decision, can't do anything else except speak English. And they're going to speak to you, and then they're going to take it over to the boss, the plant manager, the boss, the owner, or whatever, and explain to him in Chinese, and he's going to tell him what he can do, can't do, and all that. So it goes through a lot of people. What I'm saying, get a sample, and don't be messing around. Life is too important to be making a bunch of mistakes and fighting. And I had to know, I'm 75. We're going to be 75 here next month. What can I tell you? You want to make sure all your P's and Q's and I's and that are dotted and all that. And then these 5 things that I'm talking about. So what are they? 1, not getting a shipping quote. 2, rushing your supplier. Let them enjoy their holiday. Let them have a good time. 3, presume that sea shipping is always cheaper. Sometimes it's not. Never presume anything. And them not getting a sample of the product. Like I say, they can vary this much between one factory and another. And I don't know the grades of plastic and all that kind of stuff. But there is a lot of difference in there between companies. Get samples. Make sure, because if you're doing private label, you're doing a product that you hope is really going to go bang, just fly off the shelf. And one of the things is having the best product, and people are going to change. And word of mouth travels. And those Amazon, look at them, some of them sign, when there's a lousy product, man, they write. a lot of times they don't write when the product is really good and outstanding. That's one of the bad things about the system, but it's just life. They don't write. But let there be one little mistake or one soft spot in the product or one thing about the product they don't like, and they're going to write in right away. So protect yourself. This is just protection. And like I say, don't rush the product. It's no hurry. It's no hurry. You've got, well, this month's only got a few days left, but next month, you've got at least 90 days to what I call Q4, which is the day after Thanksgiving starts. And so you've got plenty of time when I'm talking about. Don't worry about it. I just want you to have a good time. But for guys' sakes, don't make any of these mistakes because they're all important. I mean, you don't want to spend a couple $1,000s on a product that has really got some bad flaws in it. And I've seen people do that, and they're not going to take it back. Alibaba's not going to make them take it back or anything else. You're just stuck with it. There's places you can do, and we're going to do a call again on that one of these days. There are places you can do if you got some bad products or you just want to clean out a product or something. We'll do a show on that. But anyway, that's what we're talking about today. I hope you enjoyed that. I know I do. Like I say, one last plug, shameless plug too, guys. Shameless plug on the course. The course is, I've really been working on it, and I've got some time coming up that I'm not going to be able to spend a lot of time on. So we're getting it in the course. And like I say, it used to be just selling for private label. Now it's online arbitrage, private label, wholesale. What am I missing? Oh, drop shipping 1 and 2. We're putting those together. We're making a lot, and we're almost doubling the course, and it is going to go up in price, but right now it's not. While I'm working on it, you still, the course is $349, and if I were you, I would go buy it because it's going to go up to $500 in the next as soon as we get the course done, which is probably next month. But it's going to go up. And plus, if you buy it now, you automatically get all the new stuff coming on. So what can I tell you? I would love to see you inside the course. I'd love to see you get set up, because now the time to get your product in there for Q4, which is the biggest selling season of the year. And you definitely, if you're planning on doing some selling in that, you want to be, and you want to have your product into Amazon, into eBay, or well, eBay you don't, but into Amazon or wherever by the start of Q4. So with that being said, I'm going to discontinue this broadcast. Go on over to privatelabelselling.com and read up about the new stuff. And some there's some mistakes still in it, because I do a little bit. I'm writing the sales letter and everything, and all at the same time. And what can I say? But my advice to you, and take advantage of it now. Now is the time to get the course. Sell your own product on Amazon for income and lifestyle, and all that, and you're going to be well worth your wood, because like I say, we've added 15, 16 videos now. We're going to add we're adding more, and especially the ones we're adding affiliate marketing to it. And man, this is so important. I started out as an affiliate marketer, and I've come full circle. Well, this way. I've come full circle, and I still do some affiliate marketing. It's a neat way to make money, and it's a fun way to make money. So what can I say? I'm going to say goodbye now for that. So go on to the course and check it out, and we'll see you on the